Yeah.
Yeah, man. A lot of the curry munchers out there, yo. Tune into this.
Oh, good stuff.
Welcome back to the Crooked Smart podcast brought to you by Macamedia. I'm Cam, joined by Gianni, and today we are joined with a guest.
Very special guest.
Varad, hello.
How are you going,
Thank
boys?
you for being here.
Thanks so much for having me on.
Yeah.
Woo.
Hi, Varad.
How you guys going? Well?
Good, mate.
Good. I'm good. I'm excited to be here. Had a long discussion with Campbell at CBH, where I pretty much like physically assaulted him with some sob story, and then he had no choice but to bring me on the podcast.
Yeah, because you need to talk about it, you need to air it out.
Need to get it out.
Yeah,
I love parties.
You do.
that's where all great conversations happen.
On a Sunday session at
100%.
CBH.
100%. It's actually my first one. I'd heard about it so long. My mate Angus, you guys know Pagey, he's always like, oh, we got to get you down to CBH, mate. I love CBH. I work at CBH. So then I finally came down, and it was actually good fun.
It's
Yeah,
just,
it's
it's good, but it gets really, really repetitive over the course of a season, I'd say. It's got the same old DJ there every Sunday.
Are you talking
every
about
single
Steve?
Sunday. Is that Steve?
Oh,
Is
he's
that
actually a good bloke.
I know he's a good bloke, but
I-
that doesn't, like, he's there every Sunday playing.
Fuck Steve.
Yeah. Wait, nah, he's...
That is harsh. How do you know Steve?
Actually, no, I went there on my birthday last year, and then
Oh, so you have been there more than that one
Yeah,
time.
I
The
actually
truth
went there.
comes out.
and I was having a chat with him. He's got lots of good stuff to say. But I get what you mean. I kind of get the vibe of it getting repetitive.
Yeah, just a little bit.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Still
Maybe I'm
good fun,
boring.
though.
Maybe I'm the problem.
Perhaps Johnny, man.
Is that
Maybe
your
I'm
Sunday
too
thought for today?
Yeah,
It is?
maybe I'm the problem.
Or do you want to elaborate?
No, that wasn't my Sunday thought, but are we going to segue into that?
We could.
Yeah. Let's do it.
Let's go.
I know, everyone has that reaction.
Yeah. It's
Sunday thoughts. Do you think love is real? Or do you think it's a chemical thing, or do you think that it's something that's made up?
Is this for us to answer?
Is it a
or-
biological construct? Does that make any sense? Or is it this is open forum? Thoughts on love. Do you think there's one true person out there for everyone, or do you think you have to work hard for it and then people
I can't believe that this is
Find
your Sunday
themselves-
No,
thought.
I actually rate it, bro.
Yeah, I mean it's I think yeah.
I
Go
can't
Varad.
believe this is your Sunday thought. It actually ties in with all my rapid fire questions.
Good.
I think there are many different soulmates for one person. You just got to find them. But if you ask me, like, love is not chemical. Love is not biological. Love is Bollywood, bro. Like genuinely, every Bollywood movie revolves around love. You can have even a Bollywood film on like caste discrimination in India will still have an aspect of love to it. Love is a Shah Rukh Khan song. I'm trying to build the brown viewers of this podcast.
Okay, good.
Yeah,
Yes,
that's my-
please.
yeah. So yeah, I think I'm always thinking about it. I think, love is Bollywood.
Speaking of love, I would love to get into my rapid fire questions for you as they are revolving around love today, unplanned.
Okay.
Unplanned.
Really?
Yes.
You're a handsome guy, Varad, so naturally the questions have to revolve around
You're
love.
not the first to say it, Johnny.
My first
won't be
question
the last.
is, do you believe in love at first sight?
Yeah, I do.
Play the Rizz button again. Rizz button.
I do.
Johnny, give him
Rizz
your
button.
questions.
Rizz button. Rizz button.
Give him your questions. It's rapid fire. You got to be rapid.
Rizz
Love
button. Rizz button.
Just be rapid.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, 100%.
Well, past lives. There you go. Which
Yeah.
animal were you in a past life? Do you think, or in a future life?
In past life, I was a rhino.
You were a rhino.
I was a rhino, man.
Yeah. Be like, "Rrr."
Yeah, I just had all the armor, but I was like a firm, cute rhino.
but like you're soft on the inside as well.
Mate, yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
What is your perfect date?
Well, I really want to say, I got to step away from Bollywood. But
No, don't.
I'm just going to say Bollywood film, a perfect date, Bollywood film. And then I'm at South Perth foreshore, and the girl's like sitting there, and then there's like a nice picnic. And then I just go into a Bollywood pose and some music starts. And then I'll like hire someone to come drop rain on me, and then we're just like really
Yeah.
like wet. And then
You're really wet.
like,
Pause.
Yeah.
Pause.
I didn't mean it like that.
Next question. Go.
Rapid fire.
Who would play you in a movie? Of course.
Can it be an Indian person?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
you
Johnny
can say.
Lever. And if you're Indian and watch Bollywood, you'll find that funny.
Johnny.
Lever. It's like a white name. but
We might get a
he's like a
photo.
meme bloke. He's He's
Is he
not
a
the most good-looking bloke, but he's funny.
Why would he play you in a movie then if he's not good looking?
Oh, because it's a meme, and he's actually damn talented.
What is your love language?
My love language, physical touch, mate. With you, mate.
One more question. Wait, pause.
Yeah.
What did you just say?
I said physical touch.
Rapid
mate.
fire questions,
It's rapid
Campbell.
fire, mate. What's
Far
wrong?
out.
What did your mate Emma say in the podcast that you have to like have like 8 hugs a day or something if you like
Yeah,
maintain well-being?
true.
That stuck with me.
That's chemical.
I just go up
think.
to randoms in public now and just give them a hug.
Yeah. Are you the person that like holds the sign, was like blindfolded, puts a sign on the floor and says, "Give me a hug, I trust you." Like, are you that
Yeah,
guy?
I'm one of those.
Yeah,
blokes.
yeah, yeah. You
Just
get lots of
out
hugs. Yeah. Last question.
Oh, brother.
What is your skincare routine?
I just started one. I just
Yeah?
started. So I'm in the early like phase of it, but it's like
Nice.
I've got this acronym. It's water's scary sea movie. Makes no sense. I saw this movie Night Swim. It's a horror movie, but
Okay.
it kind of made sense to me. So wash, serum. No, water's evil sea movie. Wash, exfoliate, serum, and then moisturizer. It's like 1 week old.
I'm so confused.
That's my skincare routine.
What?
I understand what you're saying,
Yeah.
Varad.
Okay.
But like, what's the problem with it? Like,
No,
give
there's
it
no
2
problem.
months and I'll be glowing.
You're already,
You're already
are.
glowing.
Mate, physical touch, verbal touch as well.
Rizz button.
Yeah. Do you know Rizz? Do you know what Rizz stands for? Do you know where it
Charisma.
comes? Oh, shit.
Is it another skincare
I thought I had
routine?
something valuable to add.
Is Rizz another skincare routine acronym or? No.
Sorry, I want to say something funny.
What
and
does it
realized that I
stand
had
for?
nothing.
Say it.
Sorry?
What does it stand for?
You already said it, charisma. You're not listening,
Are
mate?
you serious?
Mate, turn on your listening ears, mate.
my
my
God.
God. Really?
Thank you, but oh my God.
Are you serious? You hadn't-
Is that
you didn't know
actually what
that?
it's from?
Yeah.
RIZZ.
Yeah, it's charisma.
You have Rizz, you have charisma.
Oh, boy.
How did you not know what that meant? It's literally in the dictionary now
Yeah,
as a
I
word,
actually-
Rizz.
Oh, yeah, I was going to say it was a word, but I thought it was like a word on its own. I didn't.
No,
Oh my
mate.
God, that changes everything.
Now we know why Johnny doesn't have Rizz.
Yeah, I agree.
That charisma.
Yeah, mate.
Wow.
Speaking of charisma,
Yeah,
some of your TikToks
yeah, mate.
I've seen have some absolutely wild displays of charisma or Rizz.
Rizz, they do.
I like to say your British accents.
British.
British. I've lost it a bit though, but like it's come
lost
back. Oh, it's like,
It's
literally back,
naturally
yeah.
come back to you.
Oh, that's a great one. That sounds a bit like
Where's it?
naturally. It sounds like one of the English cricketers. I just don't know who.
For the audience that doesn't know,
Yeah.
and we'll put it in the description, Varad has a very successful TikTok account
Very
made it.
successful.
and he's got some very, very funny videos. And we wanted to ask you a bit about how you got into doing that. Like, how does one decide, you know what, I'm going to go and make TikToks and I'm going to be famous?
100%.
Because that is what you are.
Thanks,
Famous.
mate. I appreciate it.
Oh,
Oh, cheers. I feel the
4.4
love.
million views on one TikTok. That's crazy.
Yeah, thanks,
Amazing.
bro. I just always had a passion for like filming stuff and everything. And some of my mates were like, oh, you should start TikTok and you should start TikTok. So then one day I did start making. I think it was during COVID. I posted my first one. And it was this really long one. It was like a minute long. And I did this one where it was like all the countries if they met in person
Oh, I love
at
that.
some like big meeting. And I didn't put any of the hashtags. And it was a pretty bad TikTok. So I slowly learned and realized and molded over time. And I started to realize, okay, you actually have to have hashtags. It has to be like a short video. You have to find your niche. It has to be like an untapped aspect that no one's done.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people, like, to be honest, a lot of my content revolves around, it is a bit racist, if I'm being honest, but it's always that comparison of brown people to white people. And it did do pretty well. A lot of people have already done those kinds of skits before, but I was like, why don't I give it a shot? And then I think, it started with just one video going kind of big, and then I slowly honed it from there, and I started to make quite a few more, and then maybe like 3-4 in a row just did really well. And I just really love drama. In fact, I was thinking about auditioning for opera after school, but I probably just didn't have the courage to do it. And I've loved doing it. In fact, my master plan was, why don't I use TikTok as a way to get like an Indian girlfriend? Because then she'll be like,
A Bollywood girlfriend.
a Bollywood girlfriend. She'll be like, this guy's so cool, man. Like, I want him. But it didn't work. So then,
Well, yeah, it's
here
still
I am.
going. It's
And
ongoing.
It's ongoing.
monetization.
well, I did a couple of ads actually with Spotify. But they weren't great. They just weren't great.
So how's that
They-
work?
they
Like,
really do
the
suck.
process of that, because we're
'Cause
we're
if-
interested in monetizing this eventually.
100%.
so-
A few of the videos went big, and then because that's the thing, TikTok's banned in India. So
Crazy.
there was a massive audience there that was missing. But then a few of the big Indian Instagram pages posted my TikTok there. And then I got messages through Instagram being like, oh, your work's pretty good. Could you make a piece around this for Spotify? There was some new Indian dating app, which were like, do you want to do something for the dating app? I never ended up doing that. But it kind of just comes from like DMs on Instagram.
So what did you actually do?
Oh, dude, the Spotify one, I actually did not even get the brief. Even now, I still don't know what the brief was. It was something about your history. I think there's a joke that you like change, or you change your Spotify history to make yourself seem cool. Like you put your last song that you listen to as a hell cool song.
Oh, so when people go on,
yeah, so it doesn't show you listening to like Aladdin.
So it doesn't
songs.
go on
Whereas
as
the Love
like,
by Black Eyed Peas.
Yeah, so they're like, can you make
okay.
something around that and like feeling proud of yourself that you put a cool song?
What would you do? So what would you have? Because I probably would have like Dance the Night Away top, and I'd be like, oh shit, like can't let people see this. And then I add like,
So we changed it to Good For You by Olivia Rodrigo.
I'd change it, yeah, or like Radioactive by Imagine Dragons.
Yeah. Yeah.
What would yours be? What would your like guilty pleasure song be? I guess what I'm asking, and what would you try and?
I love a lot of Disney songs. It sounds I love a lot of Disney songs.
Disney bangs.
Actually, do you know what the one? Do you know what the one song which I love listening to?
Yeah.
It's whole cringe. I still call Australia home.
I haven't heard it.
I love it.
taking the piss?
It's a great song.
You were
It's
so
actually great.
un-Australian.
But then I couldn't have that
Mr.
song on my
Don't know what
Spotify.
Rizz means.
I still
Yeah.
call Australia.
Oh, no, the voice in there. Still call Australia.
It's like the Qantas ad where everyone's like hugging.
Yeah. Yeah.
love you.
They did a sick ad for that. So then I have to change it to like some, what's it? Some Dave song.
Dave. Oh yeah, like Sprinter.
Yeah, one of those songs.
That's
Yeah,
interesting.
I love that. I love that song.
Yeah,
I don't actually.
grime.
It's always just Bollywood music. It's always Bollywood music, and then
Yeah.
I still call Australia home.
So we have a proposition for you,
Yeah.
and we can kind of brainstorm it while we're here. But
Yeah.
afterwards, would you like to make a TikTok with us?
100%.
I guess we want to get an insight onto what the creative process is when you actually have an idea.
And we just want to
from
go
there.
viral. We want to go
And also
clip.
we want to go viral.
We want to learn from the master.
There's always an ulterior
How did
motive.
the ideas come? I honestly
But
think
yeah.
I've been sitting in family functions because it's all about like the white people compared to like sometimes I'm like white people coming into a family function, right? It's like, oh yeah, how you going, John? Yeah. And then like one of them's like Indian people. And Indian people, whenever you see like elders, it's a sign of respect to touch their feet. So there's one way to just like touch everyone's feet. There's like 30 people at an engagement party. And that's the thing. I think a lot of people hated me because I started taking over like organized events to do this. So I think people were like, this guy's just so like self-indulgent. But I'm like, you're right. But I want to make it big on TikTok. So then I'd be like, guys, like there was someone's birthday. And I was like, stop this birthday. We're going to cut a cake. Because there's a big joke that in Indian culture, when you go to cut the cake, you know, like white people, when they cut the cake, they're like, scream when it reaches the bottom.
fuck, yeah, that's-
Scream, Johnny.
might be
What's
the
your
most-
wish, Johnny?
Oh,
Johnny's got 2
God.
girlfriends because he didn't blow 2 candles. It's something like that. Like,
He wishes.
like
Shut up.
with like Indian people, when they cut cakes, they're like, you hold everyone's hand backwards. So it's kind of like there's 10 people cutting the cake, but it's like you created a line, a chain.
Is that meme where like there's like 10 people holding a knife and then there's a guy just like
He's
Yeah.
made that
floating
TikTok.
out that
Yeah.
one?
He's
Yeah,
made
yeah,
that
yeah.
TikTok.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah.
So
I've seen that
I
TikTok.
like
Varad.
took over that birthday and I was like, we're doing this. So the ideas just come like that. But the concept is to try to do something that like others haven't done yet.
Yeah.
So that's just, it's a combination of what's my niche, what have people not done, and I forgot the third one. We'll run with
And the
those two for
skincare
now.
routine.
And the skincare routine.
And charisma.
So what TikTok are we going to make, boys?
Ooh, we can get a bit silly with it.
Yeah. I had this vision. So I had this vision of you guys, but I think you've done it before. But like,
He's already
can't you
got a
just go
vision.
up to people? Like, you know those TikToks where they just go up to people in like public and they like ask them questions?
We actually have done that.
You have
have
done
done
that,
that.
yeah.
And we did it on a Friday night in Elizabeth Quay in Northbridge.
Yeah.
And then after reviewing the footage back, we decided to never let it see the light of day.
It
Too
was
rogue?
just, and like we got out there and I was just so nervous. I don't have the confidence yet to go up and ask people questions randomly that, you know, most people, you know, that do shorts where they're on the street talking.
So we've got them in the edit for Cam's news, like the B-roll footage for that. But
Oh, yeah.
otherwise, I don't think we're ever going to show that one in public. We might have to do a take 2 on that maybe one day.
I'd love to see you guys do it though.
Maybe
Yeah.
you can come do it with
We
us.
need more of a structured idea, I think, like a question or something that we just stick with. Just
Yeah.
one
Like,
Like,
question.
how is wind made?
Heaps you need, but I feel like it needs to be slightly like controversial, a bit. And this is where Johnny's like, nah, no, but like you want to ask a question that people genuinely going to be really interested.
Yeah, of course.
Like, when you guys had Emma on and you were talking about like that, like whether you're a guy or a girl, like listening to those podcasts where it's like, oh yeah, like
Red flags
like
and-
I want a girlfriend, like how can I get a girlfriend? It's like people gonna want to like listen to that stuff.
All right, Varad, how do
Yeah.
you get a girlfriend?
Mate, you just need charisma. Charisma or just Rizz.
Charisma button, please.
Yeah. You need to have Rizz like Johnny.
I could listen to that all day.
Yeah.
Play it again.
But okay, I'll tell you what. I'll let you guys. You lay out
Let's-
Campbell. You
let's-
lay out an idea.
Let's
Go.
do a TikTok about Gianni finding Rizz or something to do with Gianni getting
Yeah.
Rizz to find love.
That's a terrible idea.
Yeah. I'm actually so down.
'Cause
For this.
I
I want to see
already
you guys go
got it.
big. I genuinely want to see Crooked Smile podcast go big.
We could almost
I would
do
too.
something where he's just standing there. He doesn't know what like Rizz actually means, the word for Rizz, and then someone explains it to him, and then all of a sudden he understands what Rizz means, and then he just gets Rizz, and then he goes and it works. He's got his Rizz. He picks up some chick.
It's
But
like
what-
Austin Powers Mojo.
Yes,
what-
exactly.
But what makes it special? What's that? What's going to
Exactly,
separate it from every
Campbell.
other TikTok video?
Yeah, are there other
you can
TikTok?
play. You can play the woman.
I would.
Oh my god.
Or I'll just play some stereotypical brown kid. Because you guys can't be racist. You're white.
Is
and
that
that's
the niche?
unfortunate.
And is that the
That's
niche?
that's my niche. We'll find your niche.
Okay.
I'll literally do anything. I'll do anything.
So it's about me getting my Rizz,
Pause.
and you're just there as a stereotypical brown kid.
We'll find something.
You could
I
be
think
his
that's good.
I'll be the woman.
fairy tale godmother, but like an Indian version, explaining to him how Rizz works.
This is creativity.
This is
This is
great.
creativity.
See, this creative process,
Yeah.
what we're doing now, brainstorming, putting our heads together.
Guys,
Pause.
I'm actually just really confused right now.
Yeah, I'm really confused.
Back to the TikTok.
Back
so
to TikToks, yeah.
We'll make it after this, I think. Do we
yeah.
post it before this pod comes out, or and then we can
I think after.
after the pod?
I think after, because we got to. People should be listening to this in their car and being like, "Oh yeah, I'm so excited for their TikTok.
Yeah.
When's it coming?
I think so.
When's it coming?"
A good total of 5 people listening to it in their car.
Yeah. No, but I'll bring in the brown audience. We'll have 15 people listening to it.
So most of the stuff that you will do, it's real, it's authentic, it's experiences that you've had with your family or
Yeah, for sure.
interesting.
For sure.
right?
And
Little
genuinely,
insight.
people love that because I don't know what it is. Like, brown people love victimized, but brown people love embracing the fact that they had a toxic childhood. So I don't know, when they see things like that, they see like the kids getting strangled on
Strangulated.
strangled on the TikToks. They're like, man, like I can relate to that. Like he's speaking my truth, man. You know, like, so I think that's what they really love about it.
So
Yeah.
what you're saying is we should do TikToks lending into white privilege.
No, that wouldn't go down well.
Well, that's what I feel really sad about. Actually, I feel like because on
We're
some
not
of my
proud of our culture.
No, well, on my TikToks, on some of the bigger ones, I've actually got some like really bad hate comments, like stuff about like my mum and stuff, like just from strangers.
Really?
But it's actually really good because when you start to get hate comments, you realize, oh yeah, like I'm actually making it big enough.
Yeah, true.
Yeah,
You'll never find a hater doing better than you.
100%. But the other
think
thing is, some of
that's-
them have a point. Some of them are like, oh yeah, well, if you were white, you couldn't do this. And like, if white people made this video about brown people, you'd be like crying. And I'm like, yeah, they're actually right. Hey.
Yeah, but that's just how
I
the
was
world
like,
works.
I was like,
Don't
welcome
hate
to the
the
world,
player,
kid. Yeah,
hate the game.
Hate the game.
That's just how the world works, I guess.
Well, we have a few segments prepared for this podcast.
Yeah, 100.
Don't say 100 ever again, please.
Why not? What are you going to do about it?
Take away your charisma.
Person of the week. It's back.
Person of the
We're-
week.
I like that.
We've got some people prepared.
Good.
Do you have one just off the top of your
I
head that
actually
you can add?
I actually do. I do.
Okay, don't tell us. Just you can hold on to it.
You can go second.
Okay.
You
Yeah.
can go first.
No, you can
And
go
I'll
first.
bring it home.
Okay.
Because I've got a cracker of a person of the week.
Beautiful.
So, Gianni, person of the week.
So I've done a lot of thinking about this. My person of the week is Angela Merkel, ex-Chancellor of Germany. She was a strong leader.
Okay.
I think she's still No, maybe she's the ex-chancellor. I don't know if she's still the chancellor of Germany, but good leader. Kind of like, looked after them through the Brexit stuff, even though they didn't, the EU without UK, like really had to hold down the fort while the UK went off and did their own thing. Yeah, that's my person of the week, Angela Merkel.
Good
Varad,
on ya.
Hard to follow that one, Varad.
Mine is, how many seconds do I get to do this?
as long as you want.
As long as
Okay.
you want.
Nah, you know what? For me, oh mate, I'll tell you what. Richard Cyril Rosella. Richard Cyril Rosella.
Okay.
So this guy, have you guys been to the 9/11 memorial? Have you been to?
Oh no.
No, but it's a good.
Fucking idiot.
It's a good story.
Why do you just go, you hear 9/11, you're like, oh.
He's like,
Where were
Yeah.
you when 9/11 happened?
you know what the interesting thing is about 9/11 is so one of my family relatives was actually there on the ground floor when the plane hit. I remember telling the story in year 11, and some kid was like, "Was your uncle the one flying the plane?"
Oh,
And I
are
was
you
like-
serious?
I was like, no. I was like, no. I got violated. It was in a drama class as well. I was like,
Drama.
Someone
yeah,
said
drama.
that.
We love drama.
Back to your person of the week.
So this guy, he's just one of the names. I've put all the names of everyone who passed away, right? And he's just one of the names there, and no one knows him. But he was actually head of security in the South Tower, which was the second tower to get hit, right? He'd always had this fear that there was going to be a security threat to the Twin Towers because of something that had happened overseas. And he actually wrote a letter to like the board saying that I think that our towers are going to be under threat one day. So the first plane hits the North Tower. And at that time, right, like there was no 9/11 before 9/11. So no one was scared about a plane hitting a building. They thought, and they didn't know, was it a small plane that hit? Was it just a fire? So everyone in the North Tower obviously like evacuated. In the South Tower, they were like, oh, like this is a shame. Like that's what's happened. So then the siren came on to evacuate them. But then the heads were like, no, we can't lose the money. So everyone stay put, keep working.
Oh, jeez.
But this guy was like, no, I think this is an actual attack. I think there's another plane coming.
It's an organised
So he
thing,
got
yeah.
5 of his security guards, and he started at the top, went to the bottom, and he started going around with speakers saying, everyone get out. Even though they were being told to stay, he went and got hundreds of people out because he just feared another attack. And then minutes later, the second plane hit. Wow. So he actually saved hundreds of lives. Him and his 5 team of security guards, and all 6 of them passed away because they didn't leave until they got as many people out as they could.
Where did you hear this story? Was it when you were there?
I went on
or?
a tour there. So it was a tour, and they were talking about this guy. And it comes in that whole aspect of an unsung hero. You know, sometimes in like, in like the footy grand finals, and the next day in the West Australian, it'll be like, oh, like unsung heroes from the final. It's like the fact that you're talking about them means they're actually not an unsung hero.
Yeah.
So technically this guy's not an unsung hero.
He's a true unsung
But the
hero.
other 5 guys whose names I don't know or anyone else.
Yeah.
They're unsung heroes. And that story just really stuck with me. And I feel like goes into that thing that like being a hero, you know, you don't have to get recognized for it. Being a hero isn't about everyone saying, oh, you're such a cool bloke and stuff. Like you can just do the smallest thing for someone or the biggest thing and never get any recognition for it. And genuinely that's who the true heroes are. And I feel really strongly about that.
Beautiful.
So
I don't know if anyone can beat that person of the week.
Yeah, I was about to say my person of the week.
It's going to make our person of the week looks really stupid.
So
Far
Don't
out,
do it,
man.
it's a
That
piss take.
was really nice.
my person of the week is Richard Strotcher.
yeah.
So on December 11th, 2023, he posted on Twitter. He's a conservative news personality for Fox News and on Rumble streaming or something. I think he's
Yeah.
the top streamer on Rumble
Definitely
for a while.
must be an awesome guy.
He tweeted on the 11th of December, 2023. I swear I keep hearing Yiddish under the floor in my New York apartment. I live at ground level and we have no basement. He then proceeded to tweet again on the 7th. Oh no, he tweeted this before on the 7th of November. There are Jews living under my apartment. I hear them like they are digging or something. For the record, I live at ground level and we do not have a basement. So, recently, on the 10th of January, it was discovered that there was illegally built tunnels through one of the synagogues in New York, which led to 12 rabbis being arrested. And it turns out that they have been digging illegal tunnels under buildings in New York And this Ben guy, or Richard guy, this Richard guy then tweeted, I am not crazy, retweeting his past tweet. And then he tweeted another tweet saying, on the 9th of January, some of you owe me an apology.
Just can't believe that your person of the week could be a conservative Fox News.
So basically, the moral of the story is...
My God.
The moral of the story is he thought he got discriminated against. Everyone gave him hate. He had to take down his tweets. He was in big trouble. Everyone was saying he was anti-Semitic because he could hear Yiddish under his floor. But it turns out he was just being true to himself and saying what he heard. And he was right. And he's been vindicated of it.
Wait, there's actually a lot of meaning to that. Especially that last bit. Yeah, you grabbed me in the last 10 seconds. I'm actually being honest. Yeah.
Grabbed you.
Yep. Yeah, I actually... that's stuck with me.
Rizz.
No one believed him, eh?
And he was right.
They've got a right to not
They were
believe
digging
him.
underneath his apartment.
He's probably a racist.
He heard Yiddish and it was Yiddish.
Yeah, but they were probably like, oh, here we go again. Classic Fox News guy being racist. Because it is.
Hold on.
If a tree falls in the forest and no one saw it fall, did it fall? I'm asking you both.
Yes. What?
Absolutely.
Yes?
Yeah, unfortunately, I want to believe it fell, but I don't think it fell.
In today's society.
Yeah. Well, unfortunately, guys, like, if you know something happened, like, you're the only one who saw that tree fall, but society believes it didn't fall.
It's like
then-
Schrodinger's cat.
Oh, about how you know less about its position and
Something weird like that, yeah.
I
Sorry,
don't
continue.
think but so you boys think it did fall?
Yeah. I think the nature of the fact that it's not standing upright means that it's fallen.
No, but
Wait,
he's
it's a
alluding,
metaphor.
he's alluding to that in society today, unless everyone believes it and it's on the media and it's what everyone's saying, then it didn't happen. So
I'm not talking about a literal tree. Boy.
he's talking about fake news and how
I was talking
there's no
literal.
real news anymore. A great Denzel Washington quote that I once heard is, if you don't watch the news, you're uninformed. If you watch the news, you're misinformed.
Yeah, there's misinformation and disinformation, and one's deliberately misleading. I think misinformation is deliberately misleading, and disinformation is just getting stuff wrong and misleading people.
I like Denzel's quote. Can I just drop another quote which relates to 9/11 story?
Yeah.
Again, in this Bollywood film, this the lady says to her husband, he says to her, he's like, Aditi, you want a hero and I'm not that hero. And she says to him, I don't want a hero, I just want someone who won't wait around for one to come. Mm-hmm. I wanted to take you boys on this like journey with me about like the 9/11 story, and I thought it was gonna like land, but it didn't land.
The one about the security guard.
Do you know what did land?
Don't.
That was
don't
beautiful.
Don't even.
The one with the security guard was a beautiful story.
Man up.
Man
up. So this is
this
is a good way to get things back on track.
Yeah. Man up.
So your man up.
What does man up mean to you boys?
Great question.
I said,
Campbell, go first.
Gianni, come here, boys.
Why don't we
and man
explain
up.
to the audience what man up is first?
No.
It's like a
This is how we started.
pre-segue,
This
mate.
is how when we do our, because I've obviously been there constantly the last 6 months.
Been where
we
the
start
audience doesn't
to
know
man
what
up.
we're talking about.
When you start a man up session, just listen to Varad. Okay, go.
Yeah, I'll ask you, what does it mean to man up?
It means to do the right thing.
Yeah? Gianni?
Ask me. So I think in the past, man up has meant a lot of things, but in an ever-changing world, man up is almost ironic in the sense that we use it, because we're saying man up, not in the sense of you have to be the hero, you have to be the breadwinner, you have to be this. It's man up is thinking about rethinking who you are as a man, you know? Like, it's not man up like, oh, don't cry, don't do this, don't do that. Man up means something else. So when we say man up, it really means to almost change the stereotype around men and think about how you want to live your life as a change. I don't know. That was pathetic.
Right, it's actually quite soothing. It was actually quite soothing when you were saying it. Like, the music.
The word.
Boy with the music.
What
Words
does
were
it mean
shit.
to
I don't
you?
know what it meant.
Like, normally we'll say to kids, okay, like, we'll get them to do activities, right? For context, this organisation is called Man Up WA. It's a masculinity and mental health organisation. We basically go around to schools across WA in Perth. And we run sessions with the boys, like interactive activities in small groups of 6 to 8. And all these activities revolve around like, healthy abusive relationships. We look at culture within our friend groups, communication. We look at coping. We run this activity where we get the boys to kind of sit and reflect on an experience that has shaped them. We also look at the negative effects of porn. And something like that, you get a really wide range. Like the negative effects of porn is quite a fun activity, which kind of you hook the boys with.
Yeah.
Whereas then you get to the coping aspect where it's a lot more serious. So yeah, it is really about kind of redefining what it means to be a man, you know. But then I think the key is sometimes people hear the organization Man Up, and it's, you know, in school when you had like Are You Okay Day, and then everyone go around taking the piss. They're like, oh yeah, like, are you okay? Oh yeah, but like they're taking the piss, like they don't actually. There's always been a big culture around that, and I think sometimes when people hear about the work at Man Up, they think it's very similar. They almost think we're going in and saying like, oh, like you can't be strong, you can't go to the gym, you can't want to be successful, confident, or want to have a girlfriend. You just have to, you know, like dot. Yeah. But I think what we all feel and what we try to get across to the boys is that like being a man, like you can still be that. You honestly can still want to have a girlfriend. You can still be strong, go to the gym. You can sometimes be aggressive and still be a good man. And you know what? Our best volunteers at Man Up, I'm talking about other mates of mine who volunteer, the ones that are the best and actually get through to the kids are the ones that have that range. Like I got a mate of mine, Liam Timmins. He's like...
Great guy, yeah.
Great guy.
He is...
Big fan.
He's got the biggest
Shout
range.
out Liam.
Honestly, Timmins, like, he is like this big rugby player who can get it. But he is like got such a good heart. He's so soft. He's so good at being vulnerable. And that's what it's about when we talk to these boys. If you go in, so often at schools, teachers talk about, you know, not falling to peer pressure. It's so easy to go up to a kid and say, hey, like, don't, just because your mates make misogynistic jokes, don't make it as well. It's so easy to tell them to not fall into peer pressure with drinking. But it's so much harder to actually live by. So that's why when we go into these sessions, we kind of try to level with them. You know, the first question we ask them in the group setting is, where's the weirdest place to have sex? And you introduce your name. And you go around and they answer that. And suddenly you grasp it, you get them in. It's kind of like you have to get them to invite you into their house before you start rearranging the furniture.
Just to preface that, I was going to say that I met you through Man Up.
Yeah.
And the work that you guys do, and yourself especially, it's pretty confronting stuff. And some of the questions, some of the situations that people open up about. Do you want to just speak on that quickly? Because I feel like you're right. Once you level with them, once you maybe break down, like if say you're a tough guy or whatever, and you start talking about funny stuff or emotional stuff, and there's something about that outside of like a classic school teaching environment that Man Up does. That work is just it's really good stuff, and some kids really.
It's pretty crazy, some of the sessions that we have seen. We've seen some sessions where you literally have these like boys in the country like Geraldton, and you know, genuinely half these kids, it's such a different world out there. Half these kids don't even have like men in their lives. I mean, literally teachers come to school and teachers make breakfast at home. They bring it to school because these kids don't get food at home. Wow. And they literally say to us that, oh, it's so good to have you boys come in because half these kids' dads, most of them are either out of the town working or in jail. You know? So these kids have had we've had kids who are literally like, oh yeah, when this kid was 6, he was saying in a session, he opened up in the coping vulnerability section.
Yeah.
And he literally said, yeah, like a few years ago, like this bikie gang broke into our house and shot my mum in the foot. And he was there. And then so, you know, his whole family had fallen apart. He was going from home to home. He started having really bad thoughts of suicide. He was in a really dark place. But the amazing thing is that when all it takes is one of these boys to open up, it doesn't matter if they're the least popular kid or the most popular kid. And suddenly everyone else starts to realize that, like, I can open up as well. And you start to see that whole social hierarchy just completely fall apart. And that is probably the most special thing about Man Up.
Really rewarding.
And that doesn't come from going in and telling them how to be a man.
Yeah.
It comes in from going there and first sharing your own experiences, your own flaws, rather than trying to create this perfect perception. We had this other time we went into, are you guys familiar with the Banksia Hill Detention Centre? It's like
Sort of.
WA's like biggest juvenile detention center for like kids under 18 who have committed the worst crimes.
Yeah.
So we were actually lucky enough to go and run a session at Banksia Hill Detention Center.
Wow.
And, you know, this place, it actually used to be really bad with human rights. Like, they treated the kids there terribly. But we got put with the well-behaved kids on the good well-behavior program. Mm-hmm. And that was another experience in itself. Because what those kids had been through was out of this world. It genuinely traumatizing. And honestly, to be honest, it was actually quite traumatizing for us. You know, in terms of, I was sitting in a group with this one kid. Can't say his name, but he was there for like bad crime, like sexual assault, really bad.
Yeah.
But he was like, yeah, he like said to me, he was like, you know, if it were you and me outside of these four walls, I would ... to you. Like, he just...
Yeah.
And it was pretty shocking. It's unlike anything we see in the western suburbs, the Golden Triangle.
God, yeah.
And the sad thing to find out is that the what's it called, the reincarceration rate for those kids is 70%.
Really?
In that prison, you know, a lot of these kids walk in. A lot of Indigenous kids walk in, and they literally, a lot of their cousins are already there. Genuinely, some of them walk back into that prison, and it's like they've got a family reunion. Because as sad as it is, their life in that prison is more stable than it is outside. So there's a lot that these kids go through, which has also been really good for, I think, us boys to have that opportunity to go and talk to them. And it's been eye-opening for a lot of us, yeah, for sure.
It's super rewarding, and I obviously haven't been for a while, and I'm really meaning to get back into it, because when I was doing it, I was really just impressed by some of the people I was watching that were leading the sessions, how they carry themselves. And one that stuck out to me was there was a time where you got a difficult group of boys, which is what often happens. And sometimes you get the boys where it's like their first time talking about it, and it's really confronting. And then I was with a group where the kids were uninterested, and it was no fault of the team leader. Like, the team leader was doing some amazing stuff, and these kids was just never respect them. And it was getting to a coping session, I think. And he was gonna open up and tell his story, which is what happens. I think when you're talking about living with them, the mentor opens up and then tries to open the floor and see if that helps. But the mentor in this situation was like, I'm a human being as well. I've got my feelings. I've got my problems. I'm not going to open up in this sense because I can tell that these kids are not going to be interested, this and that. And that really stuck out to me, because I was like, that's a great comment in itself. It's maybe next time you come back the next year and things have changed, but yeah, I don't know why that in particular stuck out for me, but I think that's why Man Up's so good, because run by people, for people that are trying to, relate and have that sort of conversation. And if anyone at all is not comfortable, then there's no real pressure. But 100%. When it gets down to actually working through that sort of stuff, you do God's work. It's really, really good stuff.
Yeah,
I think.
100%. I would have loved having Gianni down there. Is there any chance we're going to get Campbell down there? I actually feel like you'd have a lot of good stuff to say. I just don't know if you'd be interested enough.
Oh, I'm definitely interested in that sort of realm of like mental health for men, advocating for it. But at the same time, I am extremely busy at this point in my lives, and I kind of see myself doing more work in that sort of area when I'm older and have a bit more time freed up.
100%. No.
Yeah, but I definitely mean to get back down, and everyone that watches this podcast and listens can hold me to that and ask me in 6 months' time, because I don't like I don't like breaking promises. I don't think I deliberately break promises, but I don't know. Sometimes it's good to have some accountability. So pull me up on it.
Yeah, that's a pretty good line.
If I don't make it down.
That's a pretty good line you can drop to be like, hey, I don't like breaking promises. So. So I want to make sure I follow through.
Rizz.
Is that a Rizz going back to charisma?
I want you and I to work.
I'm going to meet this promise, baby. You've got to hold me to it.
All right.
That was good chat.
Very
chat.
insightful.
Good chat.
Awesome. We'll drop a link to Man Up's. They have a website.
Yeah,
How do we...
on social, on Instagram's probably the best.
All right, we'll drop all the handles in
Yeah,
there.
drop off.
And you run the social media for what's your current role? Do you run?
So
you run the
this
social
year,
media or-
I'm externals vice president.
Yep.
So I work with the design director and publicity director. So with social media for sure.
Very nice.
So we'll probably
Awesome.
have a couple of TikToks up there. Yeah,
Awesome.
we'll get it done this year.
So moving on to a less serious note, we've asked you to prepare your 3 hottest takes for us.
Okay.
Here to hear them now on the Crooked Smile
Here we
podcast.
go.
So
Do I hit
the
'em
floor
up?
is yours.
Okay. My 3 hottest takes are: number 1, Mahatma Gandhi. You know that you were a predator. All right. Mahatma Gandhi was a predator. I stand by that. Number 2, I actually mean this serious. I think sometimes being white can be an underprivilege. In my society that I've grown up with, I feel like I've sometimes more privilege than my white mates around me. And 3, I think nobody likes Vegemite. I'm actually I think nobody likes Vegemite.
No, that's a hot take.
It's not one of these ones where it's like, oh yeah, like I think Vegemite's like overrated. I think no one likes it. But people feel there's such a big need to be like, because some American kid asked them if they ride kangaroos, if they like Vegemite. People feel the need to like be like, oh yeah, like we like Vegemite. It's no one likes it.
Do you think it becomes a personality trait?
I would actually like
becomes a
to
personality
disagree
trait.
with that hot take.
I
Varad,
disagree with that
because-
last one. Do we
Why
start
are
with the
you
last
lying to
one and
yourself?
go
Why are
backwards?
you lying to
And
yourself, mate? For all your viewers.
I'll explain why. Vegemite can be done right. There's a right way to do it
100%.
and a wrong way to do it. So
Lots of butter.
the image that all the foreigners have of how we do Vegemite
Just
is
eating Vegemite.
like the whole piece of toast is just covered in Vegemite. That is not how you have Vegemite. The best and correct way to have Vegemite is a piece of toast, lots of butter, and a thin layer of Vegemite
Thin layer
over
of
the
Vegemite.
top.
I did this morning.
You know what? On this podcast, you're the Vegemite and you're the butter.
Do you reckon?
What does that even mean, Varad?
Who's the bread?
Robbie.
Camera boy Rob. Hey, it's camera boy Rob to you.
Rizz.
Camera boy Rob.
Camera boy Rob.
Camera boy Rob.
Okay, so you're saying that you think it's impossible to like Vegemite just on its own, like because it is
I
a very
get what you're saying
weird
about with
thing.
the
But
butter.
There's
I
a right
love
way to do
Vegemite
it. There's a right
on
way to do
toast.
it, and there's a wrong way to do it. And it sounds like you've been doing it the wrong way, my friend.
But that's
I probably
exactly
have been doing it the wrong way, but I still stand by it, boys. Like, what's it made out of? You
also
know
what
it's made
people
out
do,
of.
like starch and
Vitamin B.
Yeah.
But that's exactly what people do though, because I remember when there was a school, we did a school Stanford trip actually, and we went to Stanford and there was a whole bunch of, there was all of these people from different countries, and we put that on. There was a point where no one was coming to our Australia stall, and so we got toothpicks and we got Vegemite, and we're like, oh well, what are we going to do with this? Started picking up Vegemite out of the thing with toothpicks and going, yeah, have it. This is how we have our Vegemite, and giving it to people. And it was like, what the hell? This is disgusting. And it made us look like, we're some sort of gods with taste buds that are higher than any other human being on the planet because we have this weird Vegemite thing. But yeah, you're right. People like to play that up. Same with, as you say, the kangaroos, riding kangaroos
Yeah,
to school and everything.
I rate that. I probably came a bit hard at the opinion. I probably think it's not as hot as
hot
a take
take,
as that.
brother.
It is a hot
It's
take.
not as hot of a take as Mahatma Gandhi, though.
And the middle one. Are we going to leave the middle
We'll
one?
go to the middle one next.
We'll reverse
We'll
chronological
reverse.
order. it.
Reverse.
Wait, so we're going to Mahatma Gandhi.
No,
Oh, sorry, my bad. My bad.
That's okay, Varad.
Cameraman Rob.
camera boy
Camera
Rob.
boy
Rob.
Robbie. My bad, brother.
No, just Rob. Camera boy Rob.
Camera
Sorry.
Rizz boy. Rob.
Know your place.
Rob with Rizz the Rob.
Know your place.
Rob the Rizz.
Rob
This is
Rob
getting
the
really
Rizzler.
bad. This is getting
So
really
what
bad.
was your second one?
Oh yeah, I think sometimes in our society, and I've had many arguments about this, in our society, which is what we've all grown up in here, in this room, I think sometimes being white is an underprivilege. Yeah, I genuinely feel that.
I would say the pendulum right now is swinging in that way, slowly, and not to say that.
You would say it when you mate.
But there's a
Not to
reason-
say I'm
but
not
there's-
grateful.
But there's a reason for that.
You can't just
The
hate
reason.
a white male just because they're a white male.
What
Which is
context
what
are we
has
saying?
been happening.
In what context are we saying white
100%.
males? Are we saying white males in Australia, white males in the world?
Let's
in
say,
general?
look, Perth, Australia, western suburbs.
Well, you see clips of it in the universities in the States, and they'll go up like asking people about like, oh, should white males be sorry for being a white male? And all these people are like, yes, they're racist, they're a white male, they don't deserve this. And
this is interesting.
it's not an issue, but it's there.
Yeah, I think it happens to white men as well. I will actually cut you off and then I'll go back to Gianni, but I wanted to say this year, like, one of the reasons why I got really involved with Man Up, well, main reason, I lost my mate to suicide in 2021. There was a massive incident that happened before he passed away. And this probably less to do with the fact that he's white, but more that he was male. But his ex-girlfriend said something about him. And everyone just believed it off the get-go.
And it wasn't
And
true.
it just, it wasn't true. It wasn't true. And that was the final punch that eventually led to him taking his own life. But I think that's when I really kind of got the sense of like, just no one listened to him purely because he was like a guy in that instance. But I sometimes feel that when it comes, especially like, we can leave the gender out of this, but even just being white, it's like, yeah, you're automatically like on the back foot, I feel. And when I say that, it's like, yeah, I think we are moving in a better direction as a society. Like when we, especially when we look at, you know, white Australia's relationship with Indigenous people, in that regard. But then, and this is just a side point. I actually don't know what I'm trying to say here, but you know the Maori population in New Zealand?
Yeah.
You know there was actually like an OG clan of people in New Zealand, but when the Maori people came, they literally
Wipe them out.
completely.
The Maoris are
no
brutal,
one,
yeah.
So no one was actually left to tell the story. But these days, like everyone looks at the Maori population like they're like legends, and they are. But I mean, if you look at the history of what they did,
Interesting.
how's that
I had
any
no
different
idea
to
about
what
that.
the British did?
Only the winners of history get to write the story.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's
true.
fascinating. Who were the people before the
Dude,
Maori?
I actually
got no
don't know.
idea.
And I don't think I'm wrong. If I'm wrong,
That
Just
just
like
seems to be a very,
Napoleon.
very specific thing to be.
No, I
wasn't
think it was
actually-
legit.
Napoleon wasn't actually a short man. It was British propaganda, and the British were the ones that ended up defeating Napoleon.
Yeah,
Yeah, you mean
Napoleon was
legit?
average. Napoleon was average height.
He wasn't actually a
Oh.
short
Time.
man. So only the winners get to write the story.
Damn.
But yeah, yeah.
I'm
I
gonna
don't
win
know.
the story and tell everyone I was told.
It's interesting. Yeah, exactly.
Mahatma Gandhi.
Yeah.
Mahatma Gandhi.
Oh wow, Actually, we've gone from Vegemite is kind of like oh yeah, da, da, da. That last conversation. Now this is
Mahatma
going to
Gandhi.
top it off because
glad
I've was talking about this with someone recently
Yeah.
It was me.
with you,
Because he told me.
Because
what
I
to
told
talk
him about it.
but
I told him about
yeah, I heard, but someone else that was saying some of the stuff that yeah, it's kind of sus.
Yeah. Like, I want to look into the camera when I say it. So, like, Robbie the Rizz can zoom into me when I say this. Like, Mahatma Gandhi, mate, if you're hearing this, like, I get.
He's
you did
dead. How's he going to?
I don't think he's listening to our podcast.
I
Unfortunately,
thought in past lives or something. you
yeah,
have the,
yeah, he could be. He could
Mate,
be
you're
this
just a
bin.
hypocrite. Yeah. But, but, like, Mahatma Gandhi, mate, and to any Indians who are watching this who are going to get pissed off and
Oh,
be
no,
like,
are we gonna
you always
have-
get uncles like that. You always get uncles and aunties who are like, you bloody have zero respect. You don't know
Are
anything
we
about
going to have
Indian
people
culture.
torching the studio?
That's what you want. It's what you
Oh,
want. Because the
no.
more,
It's
the more
good
hate you got.
publicity.
Actually, if you're an
No.
Indian uncle or auntie,
That's an easy E quote.
if you're an Indian uncle or auntie, like, please, like, shit on this podcast because it'll bring
Oh,
more publicity to it. No publicity.
You're just
bad
gonna
publicity.
pour the gasoline and then just walk out, light the match.
Oh, literally.
on this podcast.
But I said that he was a predator because, okay, so here's the thing. So Gandhi, obviously very influential person, you know, be the change you want to see in this world, like good. But then I just think, bit hypocritical. He wanted to achieve this thing called brahmacharya. Do you know, Robbie the Rizzler, do you know
It's
brahmacharya?
camera boy Rob.
Sorry,
Robbie the Rizzler.
sorry.
Robbie the Rizzler.
Camera boy
Rizz
Rob.
button.
Okay,
He
camera boy.
needs to learn his place.
Ooh, mate, you be careful what you say, man.
I know where
Okay.
this is going. This is crazy.
Yeah. So he wanted to achieve something called brahmacharya, which is like celibacy. So he wanted to be
Yeah.
celibate. But he wanted to prove to everyone and himself, Gandhi, that like he wouldn't get like aroused, essentially. Like he wouldn't, yeah. So
So
he
sus.
basically got his niece to like sleep in the bed next to him naked, to sleep in the bed next to him naked. And he just wanted to prove like, oh, like he didn't do anything, but he was, I just want to prove that like I'm not going to get aroused. And I think he also asked his, he had a female doctor. He asked one of the doctors in his community to kind of do the same thing. And I think this kind of came to light because maybe it's his grandniece, sorry, but she kept diaries of what was going on. And I've spoken to a few like people in our community about this, and they kind of go with the argument that, oh, but like it was a different time, you know, ... But
I was just going to say it was a different time, but it wasn't that long ago.
if she was writing about this, you know, she obviously felt that part of her human rights were being a bit violated. There was something dodgy, and there were actual other people in his community who did question this. I think even though it was a long time ago, like that's still like.
But was
crazy.
it a long time ago?
Well, it wasn't even that long
100 years ago?
But to get your grandniece
Yeah,
to sleep naked next to you, like
it's weird, hey?
it comes down to like, oh, but people also play the argument that, yeah, but there's so many other great
Did
things
he
he's
end
done.
up ever get caught doing anything?
No one ever, no one will talk about this. I mean, we have the
That's
Indian
a-
Community
that's why it
Centre
doesn't
here
have
in
half-
Perth, the
yeah.
ICC, and at the front there's a big statue of Gandhi. So worldwide, Indians love him.
Of course.
Everyone loves
He
him.
did some great stuff, obviously, but yeah.
Yeah, but then my question
But
is,
this
where
is
do you,
weird.
at what point do you scratch out what? Because people being cancelled
Yeah.
for doing, and we know what people being cancelled
for doing a lot less.
a lot less, yeah, and a lot more and a lot less. But the question is, well, in this situation, do we say, oh, good on like Gandhi, yeah, but he did some amazing stuff. We're not perfect, or do we say, actually, you know what, man, that's completely messed up.
Great,
It's an
that was
interesting
great. Great
hot take.
chat.
It's a very hot take. It's hotter than the Vegemite take.
I'm worried it's.
Oof. I don't know.
I'm worried it's gonna
I
be.
don't know.
I'm worried it's gonna be the death of this podcast because we're gonna be attacked by lots of very.
Oh,
proud-
They're
would
not
it
even
be-
gonna watch
why
it.
would
Don't
be
even
the-
worry about
Why
it.
would it be the death of the podcast? In fact, this is
There's a cool thing.
No,
called
I'm just
talking
saying
about
as a
stuff like-
joke.
There's
it's
a
like
cool
people are
thing-
getting
Johnny's
very-
like, shut up.
There's a cool thing called freedom of speech,
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah,
100%.
but also
and I think we'll be all right.
freedom
But
of
I-
speech is like.
I reckon Gandhi's like watching this right now, and he's like up there, and he's watching the Crooked Smile podcast, and he's like, "Fuck these guys."
Taylor Swift.
Yeah, Swifty.
So, do you know much about Taylor Swift? Do you
Swiftie
listen to
knows
any of her
Swiftie.
songs? I remember you mentioned earlier you don't like the Western culture songs, but do you
Yeah.
know? Have you heard much of Taylor?
I actually have gotten to find out more from her because I was just in the US visiting my cousins, and my 12-year-old cousin, she loves Taylor Swift. I think she's got a bracelet and it says like "Karma's my boyfriend" or something. So then I
Karma
started
is
to
my
listen to a lot more. That Love Antihero, Wildest Dreams. I mean,
Wildest Dreams is
but
beautiful.
Antihero is
yeah.
a great like that line.
Anti-heroes.
I
I was
Stare
kind of hoping you were going to
directly
hate on her with me
but
because we have a
never in
segment.
the
Good to have
mirror.
a Swiftie.
I've got a
We've-
story about her later, but
We've got a segment called Taylor Time.
I feel like you can.
Wait,
I feel like you can be sorry, Campbell. Swiftie, non-Swiftie. You have to be one or the other. It has to be.
no, you know what? I'm gonna say non-Swifty because
Non-Swiftie.
she stitched up her year 12 class. The story
Okay.
here.
We'll come back to
We'll
it
come
after
back to that after. Sorry, bro.
Cam.
Do we want to do that first?
No, nah, it's actually not that relevant. Like, you go.
So the Taylor Time lyric for this week, it's not just one bar, it's a bit of a little verse. My ex-man brought his new girlfriend. She's like, oh my God, I'm just gonna shake it to the fella over there with the hella good hair. Why don't you come over here? We can shake, shake, shake.
That's a lot of lyrics.
Say the last line again.
Why don't you come over here? We can shake,
Okay.
shake, shake.
Okay.
So
I think they want to shake.
the goal of this is to break down what she really means. And personally, when I hear this, I think she is being petty, ruthless, and destroying another relationship. It's all about, oh, my ex-man's over there. Oh, I'm going to have to be petty now and like dance with this other guy in front of him because like he doesn't have me anymore, so he shouldn't have anyone. Like,
Okay.
you've done it again,
So
Taylor.
the comment
selfish,
section-
selfish
The comment
woman.
section
I
is
stand
going to
with
be
that.
full.
I agree.
The comment section is going to be full. We're going to
Bro,
have,
we don't get any
We're going to
comments.
have
I don't know why.
Gandhi
you want
lovers.
comment section.
We're gonna have-
We don't get any
we will-
comments. There's going to be no comments.
We
about
will
this.
now. We're going to have Gandhi lovers. We're going to have Taylor Swift fans. We're going to have Gandhi lovers that are also Taylor Swift fans. There's a bit in the
it's
middle of
gonna
the
be-
Venn diagram.
You know
It's
what?
going to be war.
It's better than 2 comments a video. It's better than 2 comments a video. So please,
That is
all
literally your
publicity is good
personality.
publicity.
That is literally your
Easy E.
personality.
He said
Yeah.
that one.
Your personality is all publicity is good publicity. That is the quote that I think describes you best.
I love it.
Thank you.
I don't think all publicity is good publicity, but Easy E is also one of the goats, so that's a good quote from him.
I love that.
What
do you think?
You once, yeah.
Well, what do you
Varad.
think, Johnny? Because I agree with.
Campbell's once again tried to mar the name of wonderful Taylor Swift, who's just
She's
talking
destroying the
about
climate.
a situation. It's a beautiful song about just being yourself and having fun and shaking it
The
off.
crazy thing is,
you know?
if
she
this,
just wants to dance and she doesn't want to get bogged down by
if
her
this
ex-boyfriend.
podcast did actually get views, I would be getting death threats because people that are mainstream
Yeah.
that talk shit about Taylor Swift, her fan base are rabid animals. They will send you death threats. They will be in your DMs and they will come at you.
Okay, I'm actually now worried about my Gandhi statements. Like, what if there's some Indians in Perth who just have that fire in them?
Sorry?
Like, what if there's some Indians who are like, I think I'm in more risk than you from
I don't know.
with your Taylor. Actually, no, people love Taylor that much, hey?
They do. I remember.
Well, when you come out and say, which we're going to cut out, but when you come out and say
Why-
people are rabid animals, that's just the most. That's
Oh, why are you
fucking
cutting that
over
out?
the top.
I
don't
agree.
want.
People,
I don't want people to say they're
oh,
rabid
it's Taylor
animals.
Swift. It's Taylor Swift.
I actually don't think this is. I I don't think it's right for people to try cancel for this. This is not a bad statement.
He said
to
rabid
make.
animals.
Wait,
If you
what's a
call
rabid?
anyone rabid animals?
What
that's
does rabid
pretty
mean
fucked.
again?
Rabid as in
Rabid.
intense.
Wild,
Ra-
untamable.
Rabid.
I think people are
Did you
social
say
media.
rabid as in intense.
Social media is a.
So this is
a
what
war
you
zone.
don't know. That rabid is that rabies is a disease that if you get bitten, you've been spending your foaming at the mouth. So he's made it like a rabid dog is a dog with rabies.
To be fair, if someone
So you have to know what you're saying
if someone
when you
talks
say it.
ill about Taylor Swift and then a bunch of her fans then go and send them death threats, I would have to say that they would be rabid animals to go
I
and
agree.
send
But
someone
you
a
I
death threat.
generalized
agree.
and you said that all Taylor Swift fans are rabid
No,
animals.
I was referring to
I
the
think
ones
you're
that
putting
send
words in
death
his mouth,
threats.
mate.
I think that you're gaslighting me.
You're obviously
You're
doing
gaslight-
this to
you're
get a
toxic, mate.
response.
You-
You're
you
doing
should
this to
know.
get a
I'm
response.
not.
Yes,
I'm
you
not.
are. Yes, you are. Of course. Which is good. Which is why the tension of the segment.
I agree. I agree with you, bro.
It's
We
heating up.
listen to
She's
Taylor
a,
heating
is,
up.
it, is it home wrecker? Is that the term? Is that not a right term? Is that
yes.
politically incorrect? I
Maybe
don't know.
not. Home wrecker is like home wrecker is more in the sense that you get a divorce or cheat on your husband or whatever. But I get what you mean. I guess home wreckers, yeah. you can
Is
use
calling Taylor Swift a home wrecker like bad?
that. Well, and you're just saying that she has lots of relationships. and
Well,
yeah.
dude, I just heard the story from this lady on TikTok who went to high school with her, and she legit went to high school with her. They were in the same yearbook. She was saying that like so Taylor was writing those songs and making it big while she was in the relationships with people at school. So the songs were about people in their school.
Mm-hmm.
So she started to develop a pretty bad name to the point where she actually left school and did homeschooling when she started to make it big in like year 10 or something.
Wow.
So everyone actually hated her at school, but it's probably tall poppy syndrome as well. But then I think in year 12 at the end, she got like nominated for it's called the CMA Awards or something, some country music.
Yeah,
dot, dot, dot.
country music award.
So she invited, like she hadn't talked to those kids at school for that long. She invited her whole year 12 class to come watch that. So she hadn't spoken to them in years.
was
But
like a
as a
fuck
fuck you, she just sent them all individual invitations to come watch her at those awards.
Did they go?
I think that's cool.
I don't know, but I just think I kind of respect it.
I respect
But
that.
I also agree with the thing that it seems like it is sometimes all a bit about Taylor. Like
Narcissism.
yeah, but I
This is
kind
so
of
when
agree.
when you said that you won't see a hater that's better than you. This is you on Taylor Swift.
Well, I would agree that Taylor Swift is better than me. I mean, she's
Yeah.
the most successful female
you're a
artist
hater.
in the world.
I don't think he's hating her because of that. I think it's more just the values that she brings to the game. They're a bit narcissistic.
What values in particular?
Like her attitudes and values. You know, there's English essays. They should make that an ATAR English question.
Taylor Swift's attitudes and
Attitudes
values.
and values.
What
thumbs or
are,
something, Taylor
have you
Swift.
spent any time with her? What are her attitudes and values?
No, I'm saying from what we get from her music, because her music is very influential on culture today. I would agree.
It is.
But what's wrong with Shake It Off? Shake It Off's just a fun song.
Yeah, that line. What's wrong with that line though? I didn't get it.
Well, it's all
This is all
about
stemming from this.
being petty and making her ex-boyfriend jealous.
That's how you would know.
That's how
Yeah,
you.
I mean,
That's
I
so
kind of
silly.
want to champion it.
My ex-man brought his new girlfriend. She's like,
Okay.
oh my God, I'm just going to shake it. And
Well,
then she goes to the fella over there with the hella good hair, and then she goes and dances with him to try and be petty towards her ex-boyfriend.
But
that's
that's what
chill.
people do. It's
Yeah.
like
I know, but she's
it's
encouraging
literally.
that.
Why? What's wrong with encouraging that? People
Encouraging
wanna-
being petty and
Well, if
her
It's not
influence
being
is
petty.
huge.
She wants to have fun
he
because
got-
she doesn't want to get bogged down in that shit. So that's why she's doing it.
No,
not
she's showing off
encouraging-
in
I
front
got a
of him
question,
to get
guys.
Not
at
showing
him.
off. He bought
I got a
his new
question.
girlfriend, so he's showing off his new girlfriend.
Yes.
I got a question. So if you reverse the roles, okay, and say that it's a man, okay, who's like my ex-woman bought some new man, so I'm going to go shake and go to another woman. How do you feel about that?
Cancelled.
So you think?
No, but what are you talking about?
I just think sometimes do you
you
not
see
think?
it at parties all the time.
Yeah,
where
I
people
feel like
just
when
wanna-
guys go to like, oh yeah, fuck, I'm gonna go talk to this chick now. It's like, yeah, fucking, you
I'll
go,
show
mate.
her.
Yeah, you do it, mate. But then when it's a girl, it's kind of like, oh, like she's ... Like, look, she wants to get
True.
with multiple guys. And
Yeah.
I think they're both just disrespectful. It's disrespectful to the previous relationship.
How?
with
When someone's bought their new girlfriend. My ex-man bought his new girlfriend, so he's showing off his girlfriend.
Yeah, why would you have to stoop to the level though?
Oh my god,
You're
you're
basically-
finding you're
Actually,
scurrying.
you know
you're
what?
Scurrying.
You're telling all these young
But
women.
I agree
you're,
with
you're
you. There
telling
can be
all of
things
these.
like
You're
that.
telling all these
People
young
like, oh,
women
she's-
to always
yeah.
be petty, always stoop to the level of a dirty
Such
relationship.
But I know this is good for content because this clash between Taylor.
This ain't
Tom is
about
good.
content.
I've-
This is
Because
about
you
Taylor
were,
Swift.
I've
we've
done a
listened to
180.
Taylor
This away
Swift
from
together
Taylor
before.
Swift.
We've listened to Taylor Swift before, and all of a sudden you've been going. But I like it. But it
Do you like it?
I've turned the
It's
beat
the tension.
around. I've done a 180 because I just realized my 12-year-old cousin I actually don't think you're right. I actually don't think it's the best influence on her. Like, I wouldn't want her to think that. Yeah,
Thank you.
if I'm being 100% honest, like in
Thank
terms,
you.
I just don't think it's the most mature way to go about it. But end of the day, it's like, yes,
that
she
deep.
influenced a lot of people, but it's like no one's perfect. Like,
Not that deep.
Encouraging
Well, that's
being
what she's trying to
spiteful and petty
say.
to young women
But
is
she's
not
trying to say
healthy.
that nobody's
No one,
perfect.
not even young women, just young people in general. You
is
shouldn't
so
be
bad
encouraging
for-
them to have toxic relationships.
This is it's
Camera
so
boy Rob,
rubbish.
know your.
This is rubbish, Campbell. You're saying that it's just.
I think it's valid.
That's not. How is that being petty at all? Like the whole song is about her just being imperfect. That's what the whole song's about. She says, "I stay up too late. I go on too many dates." She's acknowledging that. and
That
she's
wasn't the
saying,
lyric.
well, who
that
cares?
wasn't the lyric.
Doesn't matter. That's the same
I
song.
respect her then for making an anti-hero though, because don't you think
Yeah.
then? Because she's actually saying, I keep 180. I'm like
It's
such
me,
a
hi,
shady,
I'm the
like
problem, it's
shifty
me.
bloke. But
Yeah,
like,
it's a good
You're a
character
shifty
arc,
bloke.
but back then, no way, Jose.
Yes. Oh my god.
yeah, didn't she go through them different arcs? Or
Yeah,
eras?
1989
She was
era.
like, "What's that?" My
Which
cousin
is
was
her
listening to
best
it.
era, by the way.
Yeah, which is the one where like I was just hearing my cousin listen to it, and it's like, "You came to the phone. Where's Taylor? Oh, she's
Reputation.
dead." I was like, "Why is she dead?"
Yeah,
What
that
happened
was
to
a, that
Taylor?
was a hell of it. That was a hell of an arc.
Good
that was
riddance.
a crazy one.
Yeah. Is that 89, 1989?
That's Reputation. 1989 is when she's just realized she's just breaking away from the stereotype that her record label tried to put her into, just being the country girl, and then it's more pop infused, and then it's like if you've watched Miss Americana, which is her documentary. I watched it the other night with I walked up upstairs and my parents were watching it the other night.
Yeah.
And it's talking about how she was always told to stay out of politics, stay out of politics, stay out of politics, and it's about all that like pushed into this country thing, and then as she became more of a pop star, she became bigger. She realized she can influence people. It's about her actually, and then she ends up tweeting in support of a Democrat representative, and people come after her and they say you should stay out of politics. But it's about that journey and how she kind of escaped from and became her own person.
Yeah, I'm
it's
not
kind of
buying
interesting,
it.
but
Not buying it.
Oh, it's
Of course you're
interesting.
not.
I should look into it.
Wow.
why was I talking about that anyway? Oh, the eras, Taylor Swift
Yeah,
eras.
yeah. Reputation. I like it.
But yeah, you're trying to get a rise out of me.
When on this podcast have I ever tried to get a rise out of you? Name 5 times.
5 times. The fact that you want me to name 5 times.
I'm kidding. Don't name me.
Every Taylor time. Talking about Jews building tunnels under.
That is an accurate news story. It is in the mainstream media.
I just want to say, I don't know why I was laughing so much. I just thought the way the posts were structured were really funny.
They filled it up with cement. They filled all the the police and the city construction workers went to fill up the tunnels with cement. And then all of the rabbis protested and stood in front of the tunnels, and 12 rabbis were arrested.
So what was it happening down there, do you think?
Well, they found dirty mattresses in the tunnels as well. And that is not me being controversial. That is what they found.
They issued with a move on notice.
They filled them up with cement.
So that was Taylor time, everyone.
Taylor Time. I enjoyed Taylor Time.
Thank you.
I really enjoyed
Thank
it.
you.
I enjoy the clash. I'm trying to find a girlfriend. I'm not on Shadi.com. Do you guys know Shadi.com?
No.
You know Tinder, Hinge, all this stuff? Well, they've got like
No.
all these Indian ones. Shadi means wedding. So it's like wedding.
Arranged marriage dating site.
It's an arranged marriage. It's
Oh,
an arranged
no.
marriage dating site, but it's for the families. Like the families.
So the parents.
Oh my
Well, kind of, in
God.
terms
Are
of-
you serious?
it's kind of like you have to give like
Please
your whole
don't tell
family
me.
picture.
Are you going to be in an arranged marriage?
That
Is what
is-
you're saying?
No, I don't want one. But
That
like,
is
if I have
Are
to,
your
wild.
no,
parents
my
on it?
parents. My
But when you
parents
think
don't
about it, that
mind.
was always going to happen, right? To have an arranged marriage dating app. That's fucking crazy.
Varad, let's end this on a positive note.
Why not? Why
It's
not?
been a, I would say, whirlwind of an
A hell
episode.
of an episode. So
Yeah.
thank you for being authentic.
Thank
Oh,
you so
mate,
much for
thanks for
coming
having
on.
me
I've had a
on.
really great time. A few laughs,
Yeah.
a few hot takes,
Yeah. 100%.
quite a few hot takes.
Yeah, I loved it.
This will be-
I felt like I got to speak my truth today. I've been wanting to say it for. There's like this burning fire within me about Gandhi mainly that I wanted to get out.
And now it's on the internet and
Exactly.
can probably never be deleted.
Anyway, let's end this on a positive note, boys.
Thank you, Varad. That was awesome.
Positive
so
note.
much.
Moral of the story: love is love.
Be yourself.
Thank you for watching the Crooked Smile podcast. Meow. Varad, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, brothers. Appreciate it.